Hello, welcome to week 8. After this week, we will be 2/3 of the way done with this challenge, which is a huge accomplishment, so be proud. Today, we will be talking about control, the things you can control versus the things you cannot control. Most of the things in life we cannot control, and we worry about them a lot. We waste our time, our energy, our peace on thinking about them and thinking about the what ifs and how we can change them when we just simply can't. But there are plenty of things that we can control, and that will bring us more peace, and that will not waste our time, because every moment that you are here on this earth, you don't get that moment back. So focusing on the things you can control versus cannot control is definitely something that will have to be practiced time and time again. And okay, I'm going to try and stick to the nutrition and exercise portion of control, because if I talked about control in life, we'd be here for some time. There is a Mel Robbins podcast called How to Let Go of What You Can't Control. That's a really good listen. So if you have some time or you're walking and you want to listen to something, look that up. It's really great. Okay, so most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they're trying to control everything besides themselves. When you take control of the small things in your life that you can control, then everything else works itself out. So like your nutrition, your workouts, your attitude, and your reactions. So things will happen to us in life, some great, some not so great, and how you react to that is what you can control. You cannot control what happens to you in some regards. So the scale, other people, just the fluctuations in how we're feeling, like our mood, we can't control those, but there are little portions of each one that you can control. So hyperfixating on those things that you cannot control is not going to be helpful. So when it comes to nutrition, you control what goes in your mouth. You don't control restaurant portions. So if you go to a restaurant, they're going to give you what you order, and that's the portion. What you decide to eat in that sitting, that is in your control. Cravings, we all get cravings. That itself is not in our control. Our body will crave things for many reasons, but what you can control in that situation is if you act on that craving, or say you're looking for something sweet, you just really want something sweet, you can always look up, like type in Google macro-friendly options when craving this, and that can really help you to make up like a healthier choice and still get that in. Also, it's okay to have, those sweets and stuff every now and then. You do not control social events. However, you do control, again, what you decide to indulge in those settings. You don't control holidays, but you do control preparation for those holidays, knowing that they're coming up, and figuring out the best way for you based on your goals, what that's going to look like, so that you come out on the other end not feeling like crap. You feel good because you made good choices. And then with nutrition, like, it's not about perfection. You just want to try your best to hit your macros. Like, are you tracking? That is something you can control. You can control tracking. I know it is difficult at first, because I once started and I was like, this takes a lot of time. I don't know if I could do this. But once you get in the hang of it, it's, for one, worth it, and for two, it does become easier over time. And we're here to help if you have any questions on any part of that. So last week we talked about excuses and how people will say, like, I don't have time, I don't feel motivated, I'm too tired. but you can control things about those things. Like with the I don't have time, we talked about how you put it in your schedule. You make that time. You make time for taking a shower and all that stuff, so you can control making the time to do your workout, making the time to meal prep, making the time to plan ahead when you know you have a busy weekend coming up. So you have control over those things. Things you don't control would be your job hours, your kids or pets waking up early, which then can inhibit you from getting the amount of sleep you would hope for. Like, it's not always going to be perfect, and you just have to work around that. You can't control some of those things, so don't focus on those things as like the main thing. Focus on what you can do when those things happen. Plan ahead. Say, okay, I didn't get a lot of sleep, so I'm going to do 20 minutes of my workout today instead of 30, and I'm going to sleep in for an extra 10 minutes, or I'm going to go to bed an extra 10 minutes early. Figure out ways in your life that you can take control over the situations you don't have control over. Things you do control, whether you move your body even if you feel tired. I mean, that's a big discipline thing too, which you have to practice. Scheduling it in your planner. Whether you show up at 60%, 50%, 40%, 10% instead of 0%, that is what you have control over, versus saying, I didn't have control, I didn't get any of it done, but I did get caught up on the newest Netflix series of something. Like, if you have those goals, you will make it a priority to take control and do what you need to do. Otherwise, it's just an excuse, and that won't get you anywhere. See, I wrote down some things in life that, I guess not really based on the nutrition and exercise portion, but just things in life that you do control and you don't control. So here's a list of things you don't control: other people's opinions, traffic, weather, the economy, scale fluctuations. They happen to everybody. I promise that you can weigh yourself when you wake up and weigh yourself at bedtime and you're like, oh my gosh, I gained 2 pounds. You didn't really. It's just water weight, and if you gained 2 pounds, you would be eating 7,000 calories over what you had burned that day, and that would take some time to eat all that food. You don't control genetics, and the things that you do control based off of those things is you control your response to somebody's opinion. You control your standards when it comes to anything in life, whether it comes to work or a relationship or just dealing with people out and about when you're running errands. You do control your habits. You do control your self-talk, which needs to be positive, because like, your self-talk is so powerful to your brain. I talk to my son about this a lot. I'm like, he's having a hard time and he's saying not so great things about himself. And I'm like, you wouldn't say that to someone else, so don't say it to yourself. Like, be kind to yourself. It means more than you know. Like, your brain hears what you're saying. You need to make sure that it's a kind thing, even in hard circumstances. Be proud, and I don't know, just be kind to yourself. Most stress comes from trying to control what isn't ours, and peace really does come from just focusing on what you can control and taking ownership of it and doing your best to find those little things that you can control in the situation and just letting go of the rest. Because when you do learn to let go of the rest, the physical feelings of peace that come over you are, you'll have to practice it, but over time you just feel lighter and you feel happier. And when you're happy and you have peace and less stress, you have less cortisol, your immune system is working better, and you feel better, you sleep better, you're kinder to others, your attitude is better. So really focusing on what you have control over versus what you don't is important in so many ways. Okay, let's get to our question. Our question of the week is, what is one daily choice you can control that would move you closer to the person that you want to become? So what is a choice you can control that moves you closer to your goals and keeps you going forward with that forward momentum? I hope you have a wonderful week, and hopefully everybody can have some sunshine and get outside in it, get some vitamin D. Be kind to one another, and always reach out to us if you have any questions. Okay.